I am recording this, so if we miss somebody and we can't get an answer to you right away, we can get an answer back to you soon thereafter. Okay, open her up. Questions, comments?
I have a question.
Sure.
They asked us to contact the representatives this last Thursday. And when I go to press the link, there's a letter below it that's really nicely written and everything. But when I push the person's name or the representative, I get a completely different letter that looks unprofessional and very confusing to me. It says in January, Congress Rodney Davis and blah, 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 the whole thing. But there's nowhere I can put my name and say, this is, I'm for that. But the other letter that's before this, they show, has a space where you can put your name and the division. I want to know why this is going on. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I have not, the only letter that should populate is the one when you click on the staff member.
Yeah.
I have never clicked on the representative. That's not a live link that so I need to check with Debbie on that. That should not have any information there. We contact the person that I set up is usually the legislative director. So I will find out on that too, but just click on the link with the staff member. You'll get the populated email and then you just sign your name. You can add a personal story, but it's your email that it's going from.
Okay.
I've had that same issue also.
Really?
Yeah, the letter.
I've got to click on it.
The letter comes out okay, but then when I want to add my signature and I click on the legislator's name, then for some reason it looks like it has arrows in it. It has strange symbols in it that don't belong.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. That's what I was talking about before.
That's happened several times.
Well,
Several times.
but it shouldn't, like I say, I'm not sure why people are clicking on the elected official's name.
Well,
so I'm gonna go to that and see what's going on, but let me.
I click on the person who receives the letter that's highlighted.
Right.
Yeah.
Sue?
Okay,
Susie?
okay, Joanne and then Jeff.
Thank you. I have the same problem, but I just go to where the little arrow pointing and the B signs or whatever they are, and I just delete them. It takes a few extra minutes, and then you have a clean copy. And then I just sign my name and why I'm there and send them off.
Okay, Jeff Cooper. Jeff.
What I do is I copy and paste the letter into a Word document and then copy that into the link that I send to whatever the advocacy link is.
Yeah, but
That way I can put my
Oh,
own.
we shouldn't have to do that.
I know you don't have to do that, but it's easier for me to do that.
Well, yeah.
And I'm able to add my own personal note in there.
Yeah.
And then I just copy that into the link that the advocacy shows me.
I'd like to point out that Jeff is in Arkansas right now, trying to recover from the COVID, which he has.
No.
Oh my.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And Marilyn is in Texas, and she has been working with CalRTA for years. Okay, we got 3 hands up. We go with Terry, Mary, and Bruce in that order. Terry, you're up.
Unmute, and I'll be there in 1 minute. Sorry. Just unmuted, and I wanted to put the picture.
We can hear you.
We can hear. Yeah.
Okay, what I wanted to say is a lot of people were asking about whether the MEP grants will continue. Particularly, they would like to continue you know, maybe we have a statewide thing of 22 and 22 for switching to dues deduct, because people were saying that's where they have the biggest loss in membership. And of course, you know, I call it easy pay. But that, I'm wondering if we're thinking about extending some kind of program for encouraging people to switch to dues deduct.
Well, I suppose I can answer it, unless Lorraine can. As of right now, no, there is no plan to expand it. Okay. And yeah, okay, Mary, you're up. Unmute. Or mute. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that using both my desktop and my iPad, I do not have any of the same issues that were being discussed about. I mean, I just click on on that whole list, and I add my name and it goes off. So I just wanted to mention that I'm not having a problem. That's all.
Thank you.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
and I'm
Bruce?
actually, Ron, I'm on my alert from last week that I did, and I'm not sure if I understand. I sent Debbie how it comes out a little funky on a tablet and a phone for some users, but the only live link is the staff member's name. So I don't know how someone, let's say, who had that question that they said they went to the representative's name.
No, it was a staff.
Sherry
member.
Beck.
It was Sherry Beck.
No, I think, but he meant it was the staff, right? The
Yeah.
staff, yeah, the staff person, yeah.
I think, yeah, it might be because it's a tablet or a phone, and I just sent Debbie a heads up, we need to fix something. So,
Okay.
Okay, Bruce, you're up.
Okay, thanks, Ron. First, could you start my video? Because I think the host shut my video off and it keeps saying it won't allow me to start the video. But on the issue of the MEP, CalRTA may not be redoing the MEP program again, but our division has said, we're going to redo it ourselves. And what we have done is we're going to carry it through again. We've been offering $50 gift certificates to new members. The new contingency we've added is it only goes to people who are dues deduction members.
Right.
Because we're tired of chasing down those members who, honestly, they just forget to re-up, but nobody likes making those phone calls reminding them. So that's our incentive, to get those people to register as dues deduction members. And we're also giving gift certificates to fine restaurants right on the water here in Morro Bay. If any of our members bring someone on, they get a gift certificate, but they have to be a dues deduction member.
Right. You know, it kind of brings up something that I don't know how much was discussed in some of your other sessions, but it seems like divisions, at least the ones that I'm familiar with, they always have money left over at the end of the year. Like my division 33 for years. Well, we got to make sure we got $12,000 or $13,000 left over. And my question was always why. And I think that what you're talking about, Bruce, is a really good expenditure of dues money. It really is. And that divisions shouldn't be afraid to spend that money, especially in the past, year and a half, where we haven't been able to do the kinds of things that we wanted to do anyway, which is bad for business, but certainly good financially. I mean, so use that money, use that money to do what you've got to do. And if it'll get more members in, great. Okay, how about some other comments?
Thank you.
Any questions for Suzie and I as to what it's like to be where we are?
I think what most people don't know is that this is historically unprecedented, to have a president who had a quick 6-month indoctrination, and how amazing you have done, Ron. I mean, usually it's a 2-year shadowing, which is what I get the privilege of doing with Ron. But I don't think you get enough kudos for people to know because you just jumped into it.
Into the fire. Well, I've got a lot of help too.
You do.
We have an outstanding board of directors, and there are some people that are outside of the board that have been very, very helpful and me to get started. Okay, Kathy.
Is there a financial floor? Because, for example, we did increase our, from last year to this year, almost $2,500. And we're sitting on a fairly substantial, I consider, bank account. And yet our board keeps insisting we have to save it for so much. So is it, I mean, we have $25,000 now sitting in accounts scattered between money markets and whatnot. And to me, that seems foolish. And so when I propose something like giving a gift card, everybody just, oh, we can't give the money away. I'm thinking, what are we saving it for? So is there a financial floor that I can go back to my board and say, hello, yes, spend the money on our members to help increase members. And as long as we maintain 10,000 or some reasonable amount, because you know, it's just, it seems, it's like, what are we saving it for? I can't, for the life of me, get an answer.
Yeah, a very interesting sheet that comes out about once a month comes from Johanna Hobbs, having to do with membership and where the membership is. And the last 2 pages of that have to do with the money that CalRTA gives out to each division each month. And there's a division that is in severe, well, it may not exist very much longer. It's got 148 members and they get $388 a month. And okay, and they're not using it now because it's a special situation, but that money is there to be spent and it comes in, what, 10 months out of the year? I don't have, I'm not sure, it's either 10 or 12 months out of the year. And this is something that has been an issue in my own area. There's a couple of my divisions that one of them has a, oh, what do they call it? The federal thing, that pays almost nothing of dividends. I can't think of it, but it's like $25,000. Okay, and it goes from year to year to year. And I said, hey, and they raise money. They raise money. They raise money for scholarships and they raise money for teacher grants, but this other fund sits there. And I said, why don't you guys either invest it in something that's going to make money for you, you know, like a mutual fund or whatever, which is what we do in Hammett. But then they said, well, we've got to make sure that we don't spend it. And I think that's, it's a very conservative approach to it. And I think they're worried about what happens if a division goes broke. I don't know what to tell you in terms of an answer, except your president says that money is there to be used to gain members and to publicize and brand CalRTA and let everybody know that we're doing something for them. And if we have to spend it, we spend it. They're not going to spend it. And so you can pass that along.
Well, and if you
Okay.
think of it as you're spending money to increase your membership, you're increasing your account, you know, and one of the things we've talked about with Lorraine and stuff is I think divisions need to budget a certain amount for membership recruitment. And we've always said for advocacy, 10%, because when we start going back to in person, we have Sacramento in March of 22, we have DC in March of 2023. Lots of our members may want to become engaged in that. And so you should have the funds there so we don't say no.
And then of course, there's the simple expenditure. One of the things that we found since the shutdown is we haven't been able to make consistent contact with our people who do not have computers, who depend upon snail mail. And you say, well, putting out like even a 1 or 2 page newsletter and sending it out once a month, that's expensive. And the answer is, it sure is. But but this is the way we're getting to the people who one half of our people,
Right.
it's about one half of our people do not use computers. 50%. It's right up there, isn't it, Lorraine? It's really close.
Mhm.
And so we're missing out. I mean, as much work and as advancing as we are in electronic communications, we're only reaching half our people.
Mhm.
And that's really kind of simple. Mary, you're up. Good.
Okay, I had a question. If you, Susan, could you talk a little bit more about the advocacy postcard event? That sounded really interesting, and I wasn't familiar with it, and I'd just like a little bit more information.
If you, on the CalRTA homepage, if you go under the section that says Autumn Advocacy Activities, one of the activities that we've been doing since summer is sending postcards to President Biden, Vice President Harris, and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, because Biden and Harris in their campaigns promised repeal of the WEP GPO. I have on there the template for you to print their address labels. All you have to do is load in those address labels into a printer. The template's there. You can download on your computer. I have suggested messages and how to buy those pre-stamped postcards. And it's really important because the word is down the pipeline. As I said in my session, Representative Larson, Chairman Larson, is going to get a bill out. We're still waiting when, sometime in September, a Social Security overhaul, and it will include the WEP and the GPO, and this is historic. We've never had him support the GPO. And as Chuck said at our GRC meeting, to have the chairman of the Social Security subcommittee sponsoring such a bill is historic. So we want Biden and Harris to stand on their promises.
Okay, Tony Duarte.
Yeah, where'd he go? He had his hand. There he is.
Tony, there you
I'm
go.
here. So anyway, let's go back to getting members. I know that in Division 31, we when I was president, we would give a gift certificate to any member that would bring in another member, a new member, and it would only be, maybe a $10 to Starbucks or something. But the other thing is too, Pat Dudley and I made that card where in 10 minutes you could get a new member by using your phone, their phone, and a credit card. And then once they're a member, then somebody else in my workshop said that then you could give a $25 or $50 gift certificate if they would do a dues deduct after they're members. So that's a good way to go from getting them to be a member in 10 minutes to getting them dues deduct permanently. And all it's costing you could be $50 in the long run, and you have them, for life, So anyway, that's a good way to do it.
Okay, Cynthia.
Hi, I left for a few minutes because my power went out. So I'm on my husband's computer. My question is, any of the divisions start in person yet? And how is the food? How are you doing the food part? Like, are you getting boxed lunches? Are you, has anybody started in person? We were going to start in person, but then the variant started up again. So anyway, I could use some help on that. Thank you.
Okay, Kathy, can you help out on that?
Yes, we are going to use a local business that has been in our community forever, and then we're gonna order sandwiches from them. We're gonna have the white sandwich bags, and your name will be on the bag, and inside will be the sandwich that you ordered, a cookie, a bag of chips. And so when you come in, the table will have all, and so you'll pick up your bag. So then we don't have to worry about standing people to line up somewhere, or and we'll know if you came or didn't come. If you show up and there's no bag with your name on it, then shame on you. You didn't follow the directions. you poor reader, you. And we're just gonna serve only bottled water, because again, we don't want people queuing up to, wait for coffee or whatever. So we're trying to make it as contactless free as possible. And we're not having it until October 19th, hoping that some of the Labor Day and back to school surge will have, sort of, we talked about this at length, not doing it in September just on purpose. So we're hoping we've pushed it back far enough, but we decided, we want to support a local business, not a chain. I mean, we get box lunches from Corner Bakery or Panera or Stonefire, but we thought, no, let's go real local. So we'll see, but we're in a building that has walls on both sides that are sliding glass doors. So we're going to have those open. So we'll have really good cross ventilation.
Okay, Lorraine.
Hi, the divisions that are doing box lunches, majority of them are doing them outside. And offering games or different music, different activities. Division 38 just sent me their little flyer. It's called Not Back to School Night, and they're in the area 6, and they're offering tacos, free tacos. If the people sign up, they're all they have to do is sign up. They're offering it hopefully to new retirees from 2021. And they can go to the park and they'll have music and free tacos. My division, Sonoma County, is having it in a restaurant. And people went in July to a restaurant inside. They were not hesitant at all. So I think each area is very different. Your people in your area. If you need to try something outside, try it outside. If your people are comfortable coming inside, fabulous. It just really depends on your county policies and what's happening right now. Area 1 Fall Workshop is going to be in person at our County Office of Education. The county office posts that the room is sanitized when we get there. And so we are offering box lunches at that event so people can eat outside or eat inside, depending on what they're most comfortable with, and masks will be worn. The only thing is with mask, if you have inside and you don't have a sound system, it's very difficult to understand in a meeting room, some people, because they don't have the great voice like I do. So anyways, that's what's going on throughout the state.
And think parks. I've heard a lot of divisions have said that they're going into a park in their local area, and it's been highly successful. I told one of my colleagues in Beaumont, she wanted to have something like that in a park. And I got a portable sound speaking system that's great. I said she can use it anytime she wants. And that's all you really need. So that, along with the box lunches. Now I know a couple of, how many of your people have lost your vendor for your meals? This is a problem too. Some restaurants have gone out of business, and that's a problem. Susie, you had your hand up.
Well, I just want to say, because I'm doing virtual and Zoom for area fall workshops. And I think what Lorraine said, it's really important. We need to know what our area public health cautions are. If you can do it outside, great. We have one outside next Friday, and a congressman is coming, and I think we have almost 25 new retirees that will sign up, hopefully. And so we need to get creative, because our members who are not comfortable coming in person, we can't forget them. So do a Zoom lunch, do a bingo game, do something. But then there are those who are comfortable, do it, start small at a park, in an area where you can spread out. Hopefully everybody's fully vaccinated. And so many of us will soon get the third, the booster. But we're really finding that it's so different each area. Some are chomping at the bits to get together, and they're fine when they do. We haven't had an issue. And some of them, I don't know, we're going to have to baby step and make sure their members are being engaged.
In Solano County, where we have no regulations at all, we're the ghetto of the Bay Area, I think. We are having a picnic outdoors. We reserved the space later this month. Anyone can attend who is fully vaccinated. We're asking people to wear masks while they're at the event. It's free. People have to register in advance. I think we've had 50 people sign up so far. It will be catered by a country club. And so we hope to get some new members that way.
Part of it has to do with the weather too. All right, where I live, right, it's 100 outside right now where I live, and so the parks are out, and we've got to wait. And then, of course, those people who live in the northern part of the state where the smoke, air quality has been horrible, and so what that almost it forces you to do is to stay virtual for those people who can go virtual. But I think that maybe the connection can be augmented by newsletters, short ones, short newsletters sent out. And then there's the old-fashioned way, the phone call. We've all got, what was it? We don't have, one of my colleagues in Yucca Valley, when the shutdown first occurred, their group got together, their board got together and said, why don't we just call some people? So they got about 3 or 4 different phone calls, and these people were absolutely delighted. The one gal told me that she was on the phone for 45 minutes with one gal, and this is fine. So once again, we just have to adapt, and our adaptation has got to be predicated on, changing CDC guidelines, the weather, and these types of circumstances. Boy, we've got to be flexible. But if you think that CalRTA, we are flexible, you should know, usually we have 4 board meetings scheduled for a year. Well, we're going to have our 11th one on Monday. And we've had to have emergency meetings just for special things, which we can do with Zoom, with what we're doing right now. So it's really, for you guys and for all of us, it's really a challenge to try and stay one day ahead of the game. Okay, how about some other things? Yeah, go ahead, Greg.
Well, I just have a convention that I want to challenge a little bit. We've had this tradition of naming our divisions by the division number. And I'm noticing in the conversation when somebody says Sonoma, I know where Sonoma is, but I don't know where 32 is, or 9 or 5. And I wonder whether we might think about talking about this in terms of how we name them. It could be Ventura County 28, but if I just said 28, you wouldn't have a clue. And maybe that's my own prejudice because I'm a geography major and I know all these places that are out there. But the numbers mean very little to me, and it's very hard to learn where 88 different divisions are in the state when they start to say that. And so maybe that's some subcommittee somewhere or something that could talk about that. And how do you change that kind of tradition? 90 years ago, I get it. Pasadena, number 1. Hey, if you're number 2 or number 3, that's something special. But 90 years later, is it as special? And why do we keep using numbers and not the actual geographical places that they are, that give us no connection whatsoever as to where they are at the time? That's my comment.
Bring it up at the board meeting. Bring it up.
Susan?
Okay.
Marilyn.
Hold on, Susan.
Yes.
Chuck, wait.
This is
Marilyn's
Chuck.
first, and then hang on. Marilyn's first, and then Chuck. Go
Can you
ahead.
turn me on?
If you look at division websites, they have names in addition to numbers. Not all the names are geographically useful,
No.
but most of them are, I think. That might be a good place to start if you decide to take that on.
Okay, Chuck.
Well, first of all, I can't get video because I'm blocked by the host. Is there a reason, Susan?
I'm not, I have no idea. I'm not blocking you.
start video, and it says you cannot because the host has blocked you. But anyway, the last lady just basically said exactly what I did. I refer to Placer County Division 67, El Dorado County Division 73, Yolo County Division 83. So,
Right.
and I know that every division has a name, and I think that it's a point well taken that we could really facilitate. When I was having my meeting, I saw a number, but I had no idea whether they're north, south, east, or west, other than I recognize the areas by their location.
Okay. Okay. We've got about 5 more minutes. And if you got anything on your mind, now's your chance. Yeah, Jeff,
Unmute.
unmute. There you go.
Does anybody use advertising in their newsletters?
Some do.
Like ads?
There
I
are
don't know
some,
whether, do they?
yeah, a few. There's, I think, Division 69 is one of them. If you go into that website and look at a newsletter, I think it's at the bottom of the last page. And I think, but I'm not sure. I know it's true in another division, but I think it's because that company pays for the printing.
Okay.
That would make sense.
Yeah, Cynthia?
We advertise just in the local newspaper. We put an ad in. We meet once a month. So our first meeting will be in October, the end of October. And we have our secretary put it in the newspaper for like what's coming up, what's up. It doesn't cost us anything. And that's how we advertise. We don't have a newsletter right now, so.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah. Anybody else? Like, I think one of the real important people that's really emerged since the shutdown has been the newsletter editor. And that is a major source of communication, I think, for our divisions. And if you can't get one, get a team. And instead of having an 8-page newsletter sent out once every quarter, get a 1-page newsletter and send it out once a month. Especially, I think, not only talking about what activities we would hope to have, but what good things have been done. And here's where you can refer back to the GRC with some of the big wins that we've had in the last year. And which would also give people a reason why they might want to join, because we're doing something for retired educators in California. We really are. We had a meeting 3 days ago with the new CEO of CalSTRS, and well, Suzie will corroborate. That was really, really a good one, and that we have pretty close contact with them anyway. But it's going to be better. I know, Suzie, would you like to refer to that just for a minute? Go ahead.
Well, I think what was important is that she wanted to meet with us on a quarterly basis. She was taking notes, listening to our concerns for our retirees. And if you've been up to date with any of the things that have happening, and we always try and keep you through alerts and the news, the website, there's a lot coming down the pipeline. There's 2 voucher initiatives, possibly more. There's more attacks on our defined benefits plan. So when we talk to youngsters, and I'm talking youngsters, newly retired 60-year-old, they think our CalSTRS is constitutionally protected. Well, it is, but if you don't have enough people contributing into a defined benefit, how are you going to have the funds to continue to pay what's been paid? So we have to protect the districts having CalSTRS as their main and only pension plan. So I think she's right on target with that. And, that would be the dissolution of CalSTRS.